This video is part of the Furniture Flipping 101 program's Business Management Bookkeeping module. I'm using Sage 50 Premium Accounting, but the concepts taught here can be used for any bookkeeping software. Today, we will look at the different bank and credit card accounts and how to reconcile them for month end, and introduce the general journal and adjusting entries. I'll set the session date to January 31st, 2022. In earlier videos, I was working on January 1st, but now we are going to run month-end processes, and I want to ensure that the accounts reflect all transactions for the month. You can turn on the option to set your date when you open your software under the user preferences if you're not asked when you open the file. We covered receive payments when taking deposits in the customer and sales video. The bookkeeping module explains how the Make Deposit icon works and uses the cash to be deposited account to put together a bank deposit. If you deal with a lot of cash in your business, this might be a feature you use frequently. I will show you how this feature works. In the customer and sales video, we deposited the cash paid for the custom piece directly into the checking account. Let's modify those transactions and put them into the cash to be deposited so we can process them. Now, the cash to be deposited account has a balance of $415 and the bank account is empty. Let's deposit the cash. So larger companies that have accounts receivable often use checks, and you may need to add those as well. Now, your checking account has $415 and your cash to be deposited is at $0. Next, we will reconcile our accounts. Currently, we have two accounts of transactions, the American Express payable and the checking bank account. When you first set up your business, you must set up accounts to reconcile them at month's end. You can click on the account or under the drop-down, view the bank account record, and then reconciliation and deposits. Note that the window says Chart of Accounts Records. You can find the same window by double-clicking on the account name in the chart of accounts. Here, you tie your accounts to the transactions that will take place in this account. Credit cards have a different account than bank accounts if you wish to track the fees separately. For this video, I will select the following accounts. Set up all the accounts you use so you can reconcile them at month's end. Credit cards, I use credit card charges under bank charges. The payable accounts here are the ones that you use to make purchases, and the receivables are the ones you receive money from customers. Now that the accounts are ready, you can begin reconciling your accounts. Follow the instructions in the module on reconciling and match your receipts to your statements in bookkeeping software. Here's how you get your account report. Select the drop-down and choose Display Transactions by Account Report. Set the date for the report to match the statement dates. In this case, I'll leave it, but occasionally your credit card will have, say, from January 10th to February 10th. Now choose the account you wish to reconcile. You will get this message the first time you reconcile, then the following month, the previous month's dates and balance will pull forward. Sometimes, because statements and transactions don't always line up, you will have a transaction that wasn't on the statement and was carried forward. Enter any interest, income, or expenses like bank fees in the respective accounts and select the transactions to mark them as resolved. If there are small discrepancies, you can process them to the cash short over account. In Canada, we don't use pennies anymore, so there may be rounding discrepancies in your bank account for cash transactions if you posted the actual price rather than the amount paid. Repeat this process with any accounts. Let's pay the credit card bill now. Open the Pay Bills window and select Pay Credit Cards, and then select American Express. Change the payment form to cash and set the date of the payment. Now your bank account is overdrawn. We will fix this next. In the bookkeeping module, we learned how accounts interact and balance each side of the bookkeeping equation. By this point, you should be familiar with debits and credits and which accounts increase by which transaction. Refer to the module to refresh your memory if needed. You won't use the general journal all that often, but there are times when you'll need to make adjusting entries that you can't make in other places in the software. Transactions like purchases and sales always affect a bank or credit card account. There is a transfer funds option, but it too affects bank and credit card accounts. To move money from accounts that are not banking related, you can use the general journal. The general journal shortcut icon is on the Company tab in Sage 50. Let's look at what the interface includes. For a source, use a reference if relevant. I generally use a generic term like memo. The comment lets you explain why you're making the entry more specifically. For month-end entries, use the last day of the month, and for the year-end, use the last day of your fiscal year. In some software, you can edit the journal's number and use YE for year-end entries. In larger companies, you'll need to make adjusting year-end entries that the accountant provides, and it is easier to see what has been entered if you can differentiate a regular entry from a year-end entry. In this case, we can't adjust the journal number, but we can use year-end in the source field. The next part is the most important part of a general journal entry, choosing the right account and the right side of the T account, debits or credits. I usually write out what I'm trying to adjust on a scrap piece of paper and make sure it looks right before I make the entry. At month end, you may need to record your insurance expense. To do this, you take the monthly insurance premium and transfer it from 1320 prepaid expenses and asset account to the insurance expense account 5685. We haven't posted the insurance payment, so let's do that now. Let's look at the trial balance. You have a balance of $1,200 in the 1320 prepaid expenses account. Now it's month end and you've used up your monthly premium, so you want to transfer the $100 monthly premium from prepaid expense to insurance expense. The standard practice when posting to the general journal is to enter your debit transactions first. Your software may require this order of operations. Note, you can store this entry as a recurring entry, so next month you just have to recall it and make sure the date is correct. Looks good. Let's look at the report. So we're taking $100 and adding it to the insurance because expenses increase with debits, and we're removing it from the asset account, prepaid expenses, because they also increase with debits. See how the trial balance changed? Prepaid expenses are now $1,100 and our insurance expense is now $100. Let's do one more transaction. Remember how the bank account was overdrawn? You can move money from your owner's contribution account to return it to zero. You can't transfer funds from your owner contribution account in the banking transfer funds window, so you must use the general journal. Let's move the money. So now you're debiting your bank account and you're crediting your owner's contributions. Owner's contributions go up with credits and bank accounts go up with debits. So right now the bank account is in the hole. Our bank account is zeroed and our owner's contribution is now at $1,269.26. Ideally, you won't need to do this and your business will cover its expenses. Often, when first starting, however, you need to invest money into the business to get it going. This method is how you would post those transactions. You can also use the general journal to adjust accounts manually if your software doesn't allow you to post your assembled items as an inventory asset or item. See the video of the Purchase, Assemble, and Sell Debits and Credits Explained to help you choose the correct accounts. One more small thing I'll add here. So I went to close the account and it gives me this message. So if I say yes and I say okay, now depending on the date that you last backed it up, you might end up overwriting. It'll give you a warning if you say back up and it'll overwrite. I'm not sure if it's going to do that because it changed the session date. One way to, if you get that warning, is just add a number to the file name here and then say okay. See, there's the warning. So interesting, I already did that. So I'll say no. Yeah, okay. And this I'm going to say 3 maybe. Maybe I've already used 2. Being fussy. Back up 6. Pretty sure I haven't used that. There we go. That covers the steps for banking, reconciling, and general journal entries and brings this series to a close. Please let me know if you need more videos on the concepts taught here. Also, for those who use Etsy, I can post a video on reconciling their statements if enough people are interested. Let me know in the comments.